if there are systems trained on my music, I see it as a call to action. I see it as, oh, this is an opportunity to increase the quality floor that I was mentioning, increase the proliferation of music.
Is AI good for the creative industries?
I think it's important to recognize that while these tools are extraordinarily powerful, there's also an ongoing conversation about how they're created, whose work was used to create them. There must be recognition that there are broken elements of this tool. And so the question I want to ask everyone here is, when there's a tool that is broken, as an artist, how do we engage with it? Do we critique it? Do we try and make better tools? Or is it just to be used for the manifestation and the realization of the creative vision?
Yeah. The AI, the tool, is a tool.
Sure.
And if we demystify it, it's a tool.
Sure.
It's a car, it's a stove, it's a
Exactly.
fridge, it's a hammer. Right? These are tools. These are incredible tools that have been created that mankind has used for purposes of good and purposes of bad. And this is no different. Now it's a super scale tool, and it's brand new, and it has turbochargers, and it does a lot of interesting things, and it does a lot of scary things. But it's a tool.
Sure.
So my uses of it and my cultural nuance makes, if you give me a brief, and if you give him a brief, with our cultural nuances, the output will be different with the same tools.
100%.
And that's the culture right there. That's where the culture always lives. And culture evolves. Culture is not static.
Yeah.
So you take a baseline and you add your own polish, and it's within context. So it moves.
I think the misunderstanding is that creatives are now using AI, but every creative tool that you've probably used for the last decade or more has had AI baked into it.
Yeah.
It was just not labeled AI.
Sure.
So maybe 3 years from now, we won't even be calling these tools AI. We'll call them by their name.
Yeah.
We'll call them by what they can do. And so I think what you said is super important. Like, if we both receive the same brief, but we come from a different cultural background, our thought ideology and what we want to do is going to make something different. We're using the same tools, but it's like if I gave you a camera and I gave you a camera, you're going to come up with different results.
Like, of course, anyone can log in, anyone can generate, but the quality floor is so low with a lot of this generic AI-generated content. And the question then becomes, okay, so like, how does it pass from just a simple prompt that you just throw into one of these LLMs or generative AI systems into something that has impact, something that has resonance, something that speaks to people on a fundamental level? And that requires a significant amount of time, because it's not just the time spent writing the prompt. It's the time spent investigating the world. It's the time spent absorbing elements of the human condition and our experience that give us the ability to create an incredible output.
Well, we were discussing that a bit in terms of like the Ghibli Studios issue, debate that's going on. So as an animator that has crafted this look and feel that's recognizable globally and is well renowned for it, and now we can just take a photo of ourselves, you know, put it through this app, and now we look exactly like the characters he spent dedicated time working on. As a composer, for example, you create music and you have a certain level of taste and understanding of history and the future and what you want to bring your own culture. So what happens when I just come and say I want it in that style, and I've now created something, and now I'm a good storyteller and I'm a millionaire?
I'd be very happy.
Would you really tell me more?
I mean, this is my personal opinion, so I can only speak for myself, but I don't feel any threat about, like, if an AI system came out tomorrow and it was trained on my like entire compositional catalog. I mean, I think about the Renaissance painters who had apprentices that they taught them how to paint, and they weren't threatened by those apprentices. They were passing down knowledge.
Right.
And so I'm also considering that if there are systems trained on my music, I see it as a call to action. I see it as, oh, this is an opportunity to increase the quality floor that I was mentioning, increase the proliferation of music. And fundamentally, this system, right, if it was trained on my output, it could only likely account for maybe 80% of what the original voice is. Because when you subtract like all of this quantified data that's been parameterized, right? And when you take a look at what's left in the human condition that's being expressed, like that little nugget of voice that resonates with people, that makes us feel like we aren't looking at some, product or output, but we're looking at some other human being's vision, that's what's left at the end of the day. So I welcome the challenge from a creative perspective because I'm like firmly confident that they won't ever be able to capture that.
Facial recognition block, we're here to make a planet. Can't nobody stop us. Everyone turn on your facial recognition block.